What is up, internet world, and welcome to Accelerate. I'm Mike Van Hout, he's Ian McAlpine, and today we're bringing the all-new Toyota Camry. Okay, internet world, we're gonna do it. We're going to use fuel in our 2025 Toyota Camry XSE. This starts off with 184 horsepower and 163 pound-feet of torque, but then you add 3 electric motors and you get a combined power of 232 horsepower. Now I want to talk about the gas mileage. We're talking liters per 100 kilometers here. So Ian, put the miles per gallon up on the screen. I'm averaging all week 5.8 liters per 100 kilometers. I feel really bad to break this number by doing this 0 to 60. But it's all for the love of the decimal point. You think we'll get in the 6s or is it the 7s? We'll soon find out. So I will put it in S for sport. I will press the sport button. Everything becomes red. I shut off stability program, hold the button down, and boomity boomity bang bang. I will press the gas down. Here we go. Accelerate and brake pedals press simultaneously and go. Come on, come on, come on, CVT. What we got? What we got? What we got? Boom, 6.57.
So that makes the new Camry Hybrid faster than the Honda Accord Hybrid by almost half a second.
This is a big deal because we've never had a Toyota Camry on our channel ever. In all its 9 generations, this is the 9th. Do you know how competitive this market is? And Toyota's managed to lock this spot number 1 for 20 years. Yep, this is the best-selling sedan in all of the US for the last 20 years in its class. Now, whenever I jump into a Toyota Camry, which happens to always be in an Uber, the first question I ask them, well, really the second question I ask them is, how many miles do you have on this thing? Because it always blows my mind that Toyota Camrys cross the 1,000,000-mile mark. And if you're wondering what the first question is, it's, how much money do you make, and is this your only job? It's a very competitive space. You have the Honda Accord, you have the Kia K5, the Subaru Legacy, the Chevy Malibu, and the Hyundai Sonata. Now what they all do share is value. All those vehicles, including this one, has a starting price with the number 2. I have to repeat that again because we're in such an expensive time for everyone to afford anything nowadays, with the value of what money's worth and what things cost, that anything that starts with the number 2 that takes you from A to B that has warranty is honestly a blessing. So this starts at a price of $29,495 for the LE. Then you have the SE at $31,795, then the XLE at $34,495, and then this, the XSE, with a price of $35,695. Now obviously that's a starting price and you have options on top of that, but this gives you an idea of what things cost today. We were just at the GMC Acadia launch, and those prices are from the 4s to the 6s. Now I know there's different vehicles, but when you think GMC Acadia, you're not thinking super crazy high end. So what propels the Camry forward? Horsepower and torque. And what propels us forward? Subscribers and viewers. So we'll be part of the exclusive 7% club. 7% of all people that watch our videos are subscribers. So go ahead and smash that subscribe button so we can bump it up to 10%. Now back to the car. This is propelled by a 2.5-liter non-turbocharged, naturally aspirated 4-banger that makes a whopping 184 horsepower and 163 pound-feet of torque. Now, it's not the only thing that powers this vehicle. It actually doesn't do it all by itself. It requires 2 electric motors in the front. When you buy the front-wheel drive version, it makes a combined horsepower of 225. And then when you get the all-wheel drive version, you get an extra motor in the back, and combined, it makes 232 horsepower. Now the cool part about the world today is that electrification has completely changed how manufacturers build all-wheel drive vehicles. You see, in the past, you'd have to run a drive shaft from the front all the way to the back and then, you know, put the shaft in the other side, and then you can have all four wheels rotate, but not anymore. You simply just add a little electric motor to the back wheels. And by doing that, you don't need a shaft. It saves so much weight and so much extra moving pieces.
You'll also barely notice any difference in terms of fuel economy between the front wheel drive and the all-wheel drive, given that the electric motor in the rear doesn't really weigh all that much. It used to be that you'd sacrifice some fuel economy to have an all-wheel drive car, but in this case, not really.
So one of the Toyotas that we got in our studio that we thought, man, this is a good looking car, is the Prius. And this is very similar in the front end to a Prius. It's long, it's sleek, it's pointed forward like a sports car, massive grille. Other little trinkets include front camera on the right-hand side. You've got this little diamond pattern right there. And is this functional? The answer is absolutely. Toyota Camry. And let's not forget about this cute little winglet. How cool is this? Toyota Camry. Look at this thing. Man, do you guys see what the Toyota Camrys used to look like and what they look like now? Huge difference. But starting at the front here, again, this cool little winglet. You've got 19-inch wheels, and the tire size has been the same with Japanese cars forever. 235, 40, 19s is what you get when you have these 19-inch wheels. They are all black. Now you do have mud flaps in the front here to sort of, you know, make your Camry all-terrain, because people actually use Camrys for pretty much everything, especially people from the Middle East. You have an all black mirror housing with 4 little baby canards right there. Then you have this chrome little tiny strip here with the LED hiding right there. Then the 360 camera. Kind of weird why they have chrome though. Anyways, you have your side skirt that's built in nice and clean. Just no complaints on the side of this Camry. Just very standardized, but a little bit of sportiness to it, and no complaints here. That is a gas cap, and you're not going to open it much when you buy one of these Camrys. It is so good on fuel. Aesthetically though, you've got this upper black rear spoiler that has this little indentation in it. When you look at it, you're like, cool, it's just not a boring one that goes across the upper trunk lid. Then you have the Toyota badge, Camry in black, that you can't really see unless you're looking at it specifically. It is all-wheel drive, and because this is a hybrid, you have the hybrid badge right there. It is an XSE, but here's the deal. If you want to get inside the trunk of this Camry, you'd put your hand around here, but there's the camera there, so you can't access the trunk that way. When you put your hand a little bit to the left, well, there's the LED light on the left, and if you do the same on the right, underneath the R, there's also a light. So how do you open up this trunk? I was like, oh, maybe the badge does one of these things. No, it doesn't. Maybe the C, the A, the M, the R does something. But no, it's actually the Y that does. It's where you have to place your finger to open this trunk. You see, right underneath the Y, there's a little rubberized button that you hit, and it opens up. Speaking of trunk, let's see how deep it is. But before we go, we have to appreciate the fact there's still exhaust pipes. They're not hiding. Listen. Whoops, that's the plastic. Yep, they're there. So how much room do you have inside your Camry? Well, as far as depth goes, you have 45 inches. And as far as width goes, on your tightest part, you have 33. And on your largest part, you have 4 feet. There's not much storage, but there is a spare and some tools like your typical Japanese vehicle. Now, it's not built in Japan, but it's a Japanese vehicle nonetheless. You have these little pulleys here. That is what you have to pull in order to fold down your 60-40 split. They don't completely fold when you pull it. You have to put some pressure and then they fold down. So let me show you inside what it looks like. One thing I want to bring up about the back seats is how easy it is to actually lift up when you have these seats down. Look, literally like one finger, I can pull this up, and one finger, I can do this. And it's done, it's closed, which is really good. Of course, I gotta use my back to fully tighten it, but that's all good. The fact is you can lift it up very easily. So some vehicles are so heavy and hard to get up that you're like, oh, I'll just give up. Use 2 hands and it's just annoying. I like that it's very light. Thumbs up, Toyota. Anyways, close this door, feels fairly solid. Now when I'm sitting back here, do I feel claustrophobic? The answer is no, because I have a lot of glass here, and I do have this dual panoramic roof that gives me light when I'm sitting in the 3rd row. Thumbs up, Toyota. As far as storage goes, you have space behind here, you have full vents, and if you're wondering why this does have this little bump here, it's because the exhaust runs through, not the drive shaft. Remember about the electric motor part. Now, pulling this down, do I have cup holders? Yes, I do have 2. And how about the perforations? Is it just basic? Nope, they have a bit of blue in them, believe it or not. And let's not forget about these USBCs. Hello, Toyota Crown. Whew, man, they're really pumping this up. Okay, so I have an 8-inch screen on the normal models. If you get this upgraded version, or this XSE in specific, I have a 12.3 and then a 12.3, which I also get. There's heads-up display, and I can see my lane distances, my speed, and what gear I'm in. And I got these little tiny sensors staring at me to make sure that I'm paying attention while I drive. Anyways, you have the same perforations that you have in the back seat with these blue little inserts. Then you have on all 4 corners, you have windows go down and windows go up. Then you have your automatic high beams, you have your 360 camera button right here, and a way to pop the trunk by hitting this button. Of course, then you have your gas cap, you hit it, it pops the gas cap open, which you're not gonna need in this car because you have audio, 9-speaker JBL. Then you have your gas cap, you hit it, it pops the gas cap open, which you're not gonna need in this car because you have audio, 9-speaker JBL.
You're not going to need your gas cap button because you have audio. I guess that makes sense.
Got this nice leather steering wheel that has all the buttons you require. On the left-hand side, you have all your telephone options along with your volume controls and your voice activation. On the right-hand side, you have all your cruise control options and different modes to go through the menus. You also have paddle shifters. Pretty cool. 12.3-inch screen, we'll get to that in a minute. From there, you have all your HVAC controls that are not done on a screen. They are hard buttons. And this is something Toyota is smart. They're keeping these buttons because people actually want all the buttons you have to hit. But some of the higher end stuff is going all screens, and that's really putting people off. So I like what they're doing here. Then you have your vents that are very small, I would say. I'd expect them to be bigger. But you do have a big vent here and a big vent for the passenger and then small little guys here. I do have a wireless pad that I can put my phone on. Then I have a USB and then 2 USB-Cs and some storage in the center here. 2 big cup holders. It's all surrounded by piano black trim, which I'm not the biggest fan of. You also have your eco, normal, and sport buttons here for your drive modes, a parking brake button, and an EV mode button. Behind that, you have your electromechanical brake button, which they're actually getting rid of in a few manufacturers I've seen. They're all sort of integrating that into your park. When you put it in park, the electromechanical brake comes on. It kind of makes sense because why would you want to have 2 different ones? Unless, of course, you're putting in a neutral and then pulling this button up. I just don't know why you need that. How about your armrest? How much space do we have and how much padding do we have? A decent amount of padding. I would probably want a little bit more. Let's see what the difference between my side and the passenger side is, because some brands actually change that, believe it or not. And they're exactly the same. I'll lift this up here and you have a pretty good amount of storage with a cigarette plug in there for you to charge stuff. The headliner is all black. You do have HomeLink and you do have this for your sunshade. This does not slide back, but you have this little slider. And how about your seats? Yes, they are fully powered and they do have, on both sides, and they do have lumbar support on the driver. And Ian, how about the passenger side? Does it have lumbar support? Here he comes.
No.
Boom, it does not, but it is powered though. Now the infotainment is standard across all new Toyotas. It looks exactly like this. You have your nav, your radio, your phone, your car information basically, and then settings. But most people are going to use Apple CarPlay that this does have. It's wireless as well as Android Auto. If you do want to use satellite radio, it looks like this. Sirius XM, boom, that's what you see. Very straightforward, simple display. You hit what you want to listen to and then bam, it shows up. You can pause it, you can rewind, and that's it. Even though this is CVT, it's still like they've figured out this power delivery. It's a very smooth car. As soon as I press my foot down, I get instant power. Check this out, electric motors. Thank God. Press it down, it's instant. Look at that. Yeah, it's good and smooth. You don't really feel that like push in your back because this is a CVT. Done a good job with the suspension of it. It's really good. It's very comfortable. It's smooth. It does have some sportiness when you turn it, and you actually have paddle shifters that work even though this is a CVT. Is it simulated like perfectly? Not really. Again, they just have it because people can get in the showroom, sit in the car, and then do one of these when they're sitting there thinking that they're driving a Formula One car. And that's basically why they put these in the car. Because honestly, I don't know why they do it, because it's a waste of time. And because it's a Toyota Camry, you get a whole bunch of safety features standard, starting with the automatic emergency braking. It detects pedestrians as well as cyclists. You have automatic high beams, all standard. You have adaptive cruise control, standard. I like it. I like that you care about my wallet. Finally, somebody does out there. So now to tell you a little bit more real world stuff. So let's talk about that fan speed. I will turn the fan speed up. I'm at 18 degrees Celsius. Ian, put up what 18 degrees Celsius is. People are going to be mad talking about liters per kilometer and now talking about Celsius. What is 18 degrees in Celsius to Fahrenheit? My guess is 66. Somewhere on there. 66, 67, 65. This is how loud it is. There you have it. Thumbs up. I will turn it down. And I will tell you that is good. It has a good airflow, because that's important to know, especially if you live in warmer climates, man. And all of a sudden it's become hot where I live. So it's important to know how good the air conditioning is. And I would say you have to put it about 4 bars for it to keep kind of cool at 18 degrees. So yes, it does bear the Camry name. It doesn't scream luxury inside. It doesn't scream sexy aesthetics on the outside. But actually, you kind of forget about the Camry name and just keep it in the reliability portion or compartment. And you think about what this actually looks like on the outside. It's good looking. The inside, I vibe with it. It's premium enough. Especially when you think about cars from like 5 years ago, man. This is a huge upgrade. Forget just Toyota, just in general. This is like nice. You have all that, put it together, and it starts with a 2. Cheap. And I like the fact that it cares about my wallet on the fuel economy side and the starting price side. So that's that on my review on this 2025 Toyota Camry. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.